Good day to all. Today our topic is stress strain curve in materials. We can study the material properties, basic properties from this stress strain curve. Okay, we can get the materials informations also from this stress strain curve. So every engineer should aware about the stress strain curve. So what is stress strain curve? Stress strain curve it represented the relation between applied normal stress and resulting strain. Here stress means applied load on the workpiece material and the strain means the workpiece material gets deformation. Here workpiece is the material. So how can we differentiate, how can we get the different materials because of how the material behaves with respect to applied materials. I mean applied force means we can differentiate materials as like ductile material and brittle material. So what is meant by ductile and brittle material I will tell you. If I utilize some load on the workpiece material means when I apply the load on the workpiece materials, the initial loading, the metal specimen elongates. And if I give some compression force onto the machine means, I mean material means, and laterally contracts, which means laterally expands if the load is in compression. And the curve of strain versus stress follows some modulus line until it reaches the proportional limit as like this. Okay, after that, which is essentially the same point as the elastic limit. So the same point which is proportional limit, the proportional limit is the curve of a strain versus stress follows the modulus line until it reaches the proportional limit. So when the material reaches the proportional limit, that limit also called as elastic limit. This limit is so low in most metals that is difficult to determine an accurate value for the modulus of elasticity of the metal from a stress strain curve. Here, what is modulus of elasticity within the proportional limit? If I draw the slope lines, which is delta S and delta E, means that I can get the modulus of elasticity value of every material. So the slope value defines the modulus of elasticity value of every materials, and then we can differentiate based on the percentage of elongation. We can differentiate the material as like a ductile material and a brittle material. For example, if the material is elongated with its own axis and it has some taper shape and also it forms some neck means these materials are called as ductile material. If the material breaks suddenly means that kind of material is called as brittle material. So the brittle metals, one of the examples is chromium, will fracture upon loading to the elastic limit rather than sustain plastic deformation. So the chromium does not falls on plastic deformation, it undergoes some breaking. So that breaking causes suddenly. So upon loading, when we consider the ductile materials, upon loading of ductile metals beyond the elastic limit, the addition of plastic deformation to the elastic strain causes the total strain to increase at a faster rate than before, and the plot curves are from the modulus line. So the elastic material, the ductile material stores some plastic energy and elastic energy within itself as a total strain. It increases at a faster rate than before and plot curves of from the modulus line. Why? Because it also is difficult to determine on a stress strain curve where yielding begins. So where is yield? Arbitrary definition of yielding can be used for this purpose. In many testing standards, the yield strength of most metals is defined as the stress at which a line parallel to the modulus line but offset from it by 0.2 percentage strain that intersects a curve. So here we should aware about initially what is Young's modulus. Let's see here, the one workpiece is given by load, it undergoes deformation, it gradually elongates into axis manner. Okay, the percentage of area, cross sectional area is reduced due to the applied load. So what happens if I gives the certain incremental of load means it firstly attain the area of Young's modulus. So what is Young's modulus? Young's modulus means the material withstand changes in length when under lengthwise tension or compression. So the materials withstand ability against the tension and compression force. These are all comes under Young's modulus region. It should be remembered that the stress applied to the specimen is normally to the normal stress rather than true stress. In the initial portion of the plot, the amount of lateral contraction of the specimen is distributed along the entire test length of the specimen and is therefore so small that the nominal and true stress are almost identical. But in the later portion of the test, necking of a tensile specimen occurs. Okay, normally necking is occurs. Based on the necking only we can differentiate the materials with the ductile material and the brittle material. Based on the cross sectional area that is available with the elongation, we can identify the percentage of elongation from the cross sectional area. That is, thinning begins to concentrate near the region where fracture will eventually occur. This necking can often become so pronounced that the nominal stress will decrease upon additional loading, even though the true stress continues to increase until fracture occurs. Here, breaking strength or fracture strength are occurring at the same point. So, we can define this diagram with engineering with the engineering stress and the strain. A plot of tension stress versus strain as showing like this diagram is sometimes called an engineering stress strain curve or distinguish it from a true stress strain curve. The high point in this curve you can show the high point where it is available with the x-axis. There is 56 KSI, there is the higher point available. That higher point is always known as ultimate tensile strength. Okay, so which is also called as the tensile strength of that material. The point of fracture after ultimate strength, the metal undergoes fracture. That same fracture point is also called as breaking strength of the specimen. Breaking strength of that specimen. Okay. Upon fracture, what happens upon fracture? The elastic energy in the specimen is released and the elastic strain is recovered. The plastic strain remaining in the specimen, which is called the total elongation, is then determined by fitting the broken pieces together and measuring the new distance between the gauge marks. Generally, gauge is made up of 50 mm length, which is the specimen length that is available with the tension test. So the gauge length is 50 mm. That gauge is used as a specimen of this mechanical property identification test. Here, the reduction in the area of the broken specimen is determined by measuring the dimensions of the neck down region at the fracture and comparing that cross sectional area to the original cross section area. From this we can get the original property of that material, mechanical property of that material. Besides tensile and compressive stress strain curves, occasionally torsion bearing curves are also determined. I will tell you with the next video. Okay. Now, what is Young's modulus? What is proportional limit and with the offset line? And then what is mean by yield strength? Where the ultimate tensile strength is located? What happens after breaking strength? The material may be stored elastic energy or it may be stored plastic energy. Likewise, you get information from this video. Thank you all.